Hi, welcome to my channel. How are you doing? From whichever part of the world you are watching this video from, I hope you are doing okay. My name is Dr. Lube and I make this kind of videos based on health. I also give medical advice and sometimes I create a public awareness on some of the diseases that people should be careful about. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how it is possible for someone who is obese to become depressed, or can obesity result to depression. And before that, I will need a favor from you, and that is to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, because if you do that, it will motivate me to make this kind of videos and create other content that you might like to watch too. So let's not even waste too much of our time. Let's get right into the video. So before I answer the question properly, let us first examine some of those factors or some of those things that can cause obesity. What are the causes of obesity? The commonest, the ones that are very common around us that can actually result to obesity or someone being obese. So I'm going to go with probably 4. Let's keep it at 4. So the first category of causes is genetics. And genetics has to do with something the person has no power over. These are factors that actually were there due to their genetic makeup. The person does not have any control over it. It's not as if they actually intended to be obese or overly fat. They just grew up and then became like that, or maybe one or two disorder within their brain happened to make them become that way. Not necessarily because they wanted to become actually obese or fat. And the second category has to do with our lifestyle, and that lifestyle covers our eating habits, the type of food, the diet, the physical activity, the type of work rate or energy we put out on a daily basis. I would like to put all of that into the lifestyle. The type of drinks or alcohol, for instance, that we take, I'll put that in the lifestyle. And the third one also has to do with age. Now, age, normally as someone progresses in age, there are chances that they will gain more weight. And if care is not taken, they eventually become obese, right? And then the fourth one has to do with environmental factors. So talking about environmental factors often happen to deal with the type of things we take in, or the type of environment we live in, or the type of food that is common around us. That happens to do with our lifestyle though, although this one happens to be more of the type of things that are common. Someone who is staying in an environment where carbohydrate is the easiest type of food to access will tend to eat more carbohydrate than someone who is staying around an area where it's more of meat or fish, or someone who is living around the coast area, they will eat more of fish because that one is more abundant. So now we've established the causes of obesity. So for the lifestyle now, normally most of my videos I've tried to talk about the lifestyle habits that can actually result to obesity. You can go check that out. I'll leave the link in the description. Someone who is obese, let's start from genetically. Now, it's unfortunate that some people were born with a defect, in the sense that there is a particular portion of the brain that whenever you eat to a certain level, that part of the brain is triggered, and that will tell you that you are full. It will kind of signal to the body. The stomach will signal to the brain, telling it that it's okay, I've received enough, I'm okay now. And then the brain will now tell you that the food is okay, you should stop eating. Then unfortunately, some people were born with a defect that center has a malfunction. So even when the stomach is sending the message that, see, I'm filled up, I'm okay, what happened? The brain will not respond. So the person keep eating and eating and eating. This has to do with genetic wise. They didn't plan for that. And the lifestyle happens to be the type of food we eat. What are the type of food that you're eating? Every single time you want to eat food that contains high level of cholesterol and calories, which happens to be the hallmark of diabetes or anything happening to do with fat in the body. And then your intake of alcohol, you are chronically abusing alcohol. Although in some people, the more they take alcohol, the less they feel the urge to eat. That's another topic. I don't want to dive into that, but just know that some people, the more alcohol they take, for instance, the more it becomes difficult for them to eat because of one or two reasons, which I will not, because of the time of the video, I will not want to digress into. And then some people also, when they incorporate that with food or some type of food intake or their type of diet, it kind of spikes the whole process, and then they even become more fat. And then age, as you are becoming 30s, once you've crossed your 30s to your 40s, it is natural for you to add more weight and you become overweight. Now what happens is some people, if they don't watch it on time, they eventually become obese. Now the depression comes here this way. The first problem people who are obese they face is they become less active. Now less active could also be their motility. It means their movement, right? Or it could mean their activity, physical activity or normal activities they do on a daily basis. It becomes much challenging for them, because remember, now you become more obese, it means you have more fat in your body and more body mass, so it's going to take a more energy. It's something that you could have done easily to require more force for you to do it. And because you are more fat, it will require more force and more energy from you. So because of that, you easily get tired. People who are obese, that's the first problem they face, and they don't like it. Nobody likes that, right? The second one is this. I'm just talking about where the depression comes. Is the prejudice, the discrimination, the stigmatization that comes from social standard or the social group. Socially, people, try to discriminate. There's this particular slur or whatever, whether it's a slur or not. There's this thing people call body shaming, right? A lot of people constantly undergo, people who are very fat. In fact, you could see the effect manifest in women once they get to their 40s and 50s, once they are approaching that age where they lose their natural body, they start feeling insecure. You see older women will start feeling insecure around younger women, because she knows that now she has lost that shape or whatever body she had in her youthful age. Now she's becoming old, she's out of shape. So you could see that manifest, that some women go to deep extent to do some kind of body readjustment, to kind of remove some certain things in the body, readjust their whole entire body anatomically. And then in some people, maybe they might not have the resources to do that. So they constantly face this body shaming type of thing and stigmatization. Everybody will say, this one is too fat, you are too fat. And the third one is, if you are living in a country like Nigeria, for instance, it is believed that once you are overly fat or obese, you are from a rich home. If you are living in a country, as I live in Nigeria, so of course I'm making these references based on people who are staying in Nigeria. It is believed that you are from a rich home. So anytime people see you, they just believe that you are a rich person. They just believe that you have a lot of money. So many people might try to exploit you. Many people might just take advantage of you, and many people might just want to use that as an opportunity to suck you dry. Even though you might not basically be from a rich home, maybe you could be genetically. And then someone was asking me the other day, well, how about people who grew up in homes that there is good food and they were eating healthy, but then they become overly fat? That's where malnutrition comes. So malnutrition is divided into two. Malnutrition can be undernutrition and overnutrition. Undernutrition has to do with kwashiorkor, marasmus, children who don't get enough nutrients, or who don't get enough proteins, or who don't have enough food to eat. They don't undergo undernutrition. Because of that, they don't look healthy, they don't look fat or anything. They are dry, they look skinny and all of that. Then overnutrition is when the child takes too much, when there is too much nutrient. Is overloading the body with nutrients. That will become overnutrition, because as a child growing up, of course you want the child to grow up, but then when you fill this child with too much of this nutrient, it becomes too much of everything, of course, is bad. So when you fill this child with too much of this nutrient, eventually it becomes bad. So that's basically the three reasons behind that kind of nutrition, and this can make a lot of people who are fat depressed. Coupled with the social prejudice and the stigmatization and the discrimination that comes from being fat, they go through a lot of depression. People who are overly fat and obese, they go through, and then most of them face rejection. So all of that can cause a whole lot of depression. So now if you are a young person, your youth, who have not become overly fat, who is still coming up, you can try to avoid that in future by becoming more physically active. If your case is genetically, unfortunately, I'm so sorry for that, but that's when you can seek a medical attention. They'll probably look into that for you. And then if you are actually crossing your 30s, 40s, That's when you now have to modify your lifestyle. You see, each of the age bracket has something to do. If you're in your 20s, there's nothing like modify your lifestyle. You just have to be active physically. That will help you. And then if you're in your 30s, 40s, it is expected that maybe your physical activity might not be down at its peak compared to when you were in your youth. That's when you have to modify your lifestyle. The type of food you take in, the type of drink, the type of social lifestyle you indulge in. That's what you need to watch more. So I hope you were able to enjoy the video. If there's anything I left out that you want me to talk about, you can leave that in the comment section. What are those other reasons you think will make people who are obese depressed? Please leave that in the comment section. I will be happy to review. Like I said earlier, subscribe to the channel by supporting it, and also turn on the notification bell so that anytime I release a video like this, you'll be the first person to watch it. See you in another video.